In Red Light Trivia Night, we did the whole any dogs in the house to mess with everybody else, right?
Yeah.
I almost did that just now. I don't know why, but I almost did that just now.
I don't know what was funnier about Trivia Night, or was it rather the fact that we did that, or the fact that they just didn't react?
They didn't react at all. They were like, "Oh, this must be the thing."
Yeah, this must be their thing. Yeah.
I've been trying to get this mustache under control, but as you see from the side, it looks like I got a little master. Oh God.
Master.
Oh God.
What?
This is going to test my ball knowledge from childhood shows.
Okay.
I almost said Master Wushi. That's not. That's not. Where's that from?
That's
Master Wushi. Where's that from?
Gosh.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But no, the Ninjago.
Is that Ninjago? Yeah.
Well, like the Ninjago, the guy in Ninjago, that's the master of them. I can't remember his name.
I don't remember his name.
I got that. I'll just say Mr. Miyagi, and we'll hopefully that's a good reference. But yeah. I got that shit sticking out, and I'm like, forever I've wanted to cut it down, but I don't know how that'll look, and I'm scared to stylize this, because every time I style it, I end up shaving it all off, and then my lady's like... I don't get head for a month, and I don't want to go through that. I don't want to put myself through that.
I guess that's fair,
What do you mean, I guess? What do you mean, I guess? This is a universal thing, right?
I'm single.
What does that got to do with you liking head?
That didn't have anything to do with... I didn't say anything about not liking head.
The whole conversation was about getting head, and you were like, "Oh, that's fair," as if that's some irrational, something you have to give me. That's not something you have to give me. That's something you give me because in the universe, men, women, everybody likes getting some dome.
Okay.
I never liked Gluck 3000. I never liked that as a descriptor for.
Well, I think it's gawk.
See, I heard really. Gluck, I heard gawk, I heard hawk to it. If you want to get local with it.
Local.
Okay. I saw her on, when I took my lady to work a couple times, there was a bus with a billboard on, it was one of those virtual billboards, and it was for crypto. And it wasn't even her coin. This was like foreshadowing what she would do.
Nice.
But it was just like, oh, the stocks are rising up. You better hot tool on that thing. And I was like, if you're going to use the meme, use it properly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's aggressive advertising. I'll give it that, I guess.
Can I say, and I know that we had the starter playing to the football cards. We'll get into it, all right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I hate when companies use slang and memes to market their things. You know what I mean?
It always feels disingenuous because it is.
Because it's, a corporation.
Yeah, they're out to make money, and you can feel that, and there's no way they can't not give out that feeling, because that's the whole purpose of an ad.
Dude, even when I walk into like First Watch has a unnatural Southern feel to it. I love First Watch, but when you walk in there and you see the decoration, and I'm pretty sure I've seen something with "Welcome y'all" on the thing, I'm like,
yeah.
First of all, you're cutting off the black population. They're not going to feel comfortable in here. Second of all, it's unnatural. A real Southern place is a place like Waffle House. Yeah. Cussing, fighting, greasy ass food. You know what I mean?
That's Cracker Barrel for the white folks.
Cracker Barrel's fire. All right, let's not. I was just about to bring up, that's the big joke I hear, is black people don't feel comfortable in a Cracker Barrel. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's fire.
No,
dude.
I feel comfortable enough. I just don't eat Cracker Barrel, usually at all.
Cracker Barrel's fire. I haven't been inside and sat down at a Cracker Barrel in 6 years.
Oh Lord,
It's
I
been
think
a
it's
while.
probably been longer for me. Probably closer to like 8.
But let me tell you something, all right? If you go to try Cracker Barrel, if you never had it or whatever, country fried chicken with the sawmill gravy, get you some mashed potatoes, some macaroni and cheese, and some fried apples. Ah!
This man had his whole order on lock, and he said he
I
hasn't
get,
been there in 6 years.
dude,
What kind
because
of?
I get the same thing every time. Every time I pull in that bitch. I usually like to experiment or whatever. When I go to Cracker Barrel, I don't experiment because I just keep going back. Forever it was the country fried steak, but I don't really like country fried steak anymore.
I'm not a big fan of country fried steak. It's got to be probably more likely country fried chicken for me.
Yeah. And then they have chicken fried chicken on there. Why are you calling it chicken fried chicken? Just call it fried chicken. Oh, you want your chicken fried like chicken? Yes. Yeah. Could you fry my chicken like chicken? What are we talking about?
I mean, I guess they have to make some sort of distinction between country fried and I guess chicken fried.
I guess so. But if you go up to someone and they're like, oh, what's the difference between country fried chicken and fried chicken? You slap them and you move on.
I was going to say, because I don't even fucking know. I think I asked my mom that like the other day and she was like, I don't know.
But dude, their fried apples, I would fist fight someone. I would fist fight my grandma for a bowl of their fried apples, dude. Their fried apples are so fucking good.
Isn't it your grandma that makes the chess squares?
That's her grandma.
Oh, okay. Okay, then your grandma's
I'm saying that like, oh, it's okay to sacrifice my grandma. If my lady heard that I said that, she would come in here and beat the absolute fuck out of me, dude.
Better hope she doesn't watch this episode.
You playing the Jaws theme again? Walking in on the most... It's her thing to walk in on the most unfortunate times. That's
I don't
her
even remember
thing.
the basis of the conversation. I just remember she probably shouldn't have been the one to hear it at that time.
I think it was about... Yeah, it was about giving head. Now we're wrapping it all the way back. 7 minutes in. Wrapping it all the way back.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of wrapping up, football cards.
Football cards.
You showed me your new collection of football cards.
Yes, a new collection just dropped. You know, I've got a couple. Given to me by a buddy. And, did you ever get into sports cards? Like, I did have. It's somewhere, I don't know where, but I'm pretty sure it's probably still in its packaging. I think I have a Tennessee card somewhere. That's, if I'm not mistaken, was worth quite a bit. I just don't remember exactly how much.
See,
and that was like the only one I had.
I know sports cards were massive in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, like a long time sports cards had a monopoly on like collectives. It's like, oh, you got the rookie Randy Johnson? No shot. That thing's probably worth $15,000.
Okay, yeah. That is how it is. I mean, like even in flea markets nowadays, they're still like pretty. Like I went to one in Ohio and there was quite a few different shops selling just straight up cards, like sports cards.
See, that's something I never really... I had sports cards growing up, and I thought they were cool. And I even... Funny story. I took the mound we had of, like, 50 football cards, ranging from players from, like, 1985. I think there was a Barry Sanders card in there. All the way to... I think this was in 2012, so, like, a 2010... I don't know, Larry Fitzgerald or something like that. And we took this mound. We used to go bowling every Sunday with my grandparents. And we took it to the bowling alley. And I would trade it with one of my buddies there. And my mom got upset because she was like, you know, some of those are your brothers. I was like, I asked him before we went if I could trade. And she was like, well, some of them are your brothers. You don't have a right. What? What?
He said, I asked him. Didn't you hear that part? Even though he gave me permission, I still don't have it.
It's like Pokemon cards. I don't get like, oh, I got the Charizard. Oh my God, it's a card. You know what I mean?
And Pokemon's going to keep printing those as long as they need to. So they lose their worth pretty fast sometimes.
Yeah, I get a game-worn, signed Joe Montana jersey being worth tens of thousands of dollars. I get that.
Yeah.
Right? A card? A card?
People are willing to pay whatever price you got, then it's worth it, I guess.
I don't get it.
I mean,
they had cool little facts everywhere and the stats, but like, oh, you got the rookie Tom Brady? Holy shit. I guess I was lucky enough to buy a pack back in 2003 or whenever he was drafted.
Yeah. I never really collected much more sports cards. It was always like Yu-Gi-Oh! I think I had like a giant stack of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards somewhere. And I may or may not have had a few Pokemon cards. Those are probably long gone, though.
As a kid, there was a couple collections that I started, and I just lost all of it. Obviously, I didn't care enough.
Yeah.
I do wish I kept all of my like sports trophies from when I was little. Maybe. Those got thrown on a shelf, and when we moved, they got thrown into a box. I've never seen them.
I was going to say,
haven't seen them since.
I had mine in a trophy case somewhere, and it got a little filled up because I never sat down, and I don't know where it's at now. It might be in a shed.
Maybe. There's a Derek Morgan hoodie that's a famous story. Derek Morgan was a defensive end for the Titans, or linebacker, whichever one. And I had a hoodie with the Titans logo on the front with 91 Morgan on the back. And around the time me and her started dating, that was one of the hoodies that just ended up staying at her house. Ooh. And I haven't seen it in almost a decade. And I asked her about it like a year ago, and she was like, oh yeah, I think my mom put it with all the winter stuff and shoved it in that attic. Her mom doesn't live in that house anymore. So I guess, someone's got a decent little find whenever they go into that.
Yeah. That sucks for you, I guess. That's kind of sad.
I will say, we talked a couple weeks ago about man caves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was struggling between, what I want to do with it, what I want the theme to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I've settled on a cop-out answer.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of, it's called Retro Styles. There's only a couple episodes of it. AJ Styles goes and buys retro video games. Okay. And he's such a video game dork. And they showed off his room, and his room looked pretty sick. And I was like, all right, I finalized my idea. And I need 2 rooms. Okay. I need 2 rooms.
Okay.
I need 2 rooms. Connected, hopefully, but don't have. I need 2 rooms.
Like those like hotel rooms where you can just open up a door into another room.
Yeah, or if that was the case, I'd probably just take the door out and have an opening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But basically, I'm gonna have my nerd room and I'm gonna have my sports room. 'Cause I want both. Okay. I want a place to go where sports memorabilia surrounds me, and me and the dudes are just eating some pizza, eating some wings, watching a game. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need that. Need that in my life.
Yeah.
Now, people are saying, oh, you're going to buy a house in this economy? Anyway, let a man dream. Jesus.
It's your dreams and aspirations. Yeah.
But the nerd room, I need a arcade machine that has a lot of the retro stuff on it. I need at least 1 or 2 pinball machines, wall covered in like superheroes, gaming characters, all that stuff, and 2 TVs or 2 projectors, whichever one I feel like affording, and that has the gaming consoles set up. So that's the idea. And I sat with that. I'm like, I mean, that's what I want, but I feel like I should have one. I feel like I should have 1 room, but I can't, dude. I like too much shit.
I'm just thinking, have the PS3 with the retro consoles.
Don't say that.
Yeah. I think it's old enough now.
Don't say that. I'm gonna show my
I think
little
the
boy
PS4
PS3.
is running up on that, actually.
It shouldn't. Then
It's
again,
like 12 years old or something like that.
dude. Then again, freshmen in college right now were asked, "Oh, what year does someone have to be born in for you to consider them old?" And they said 2000 to 2002.
No, they didn't.
What?
I refuse to believe that. No.
Dude, freshman football players were asked, what year does someone have to be born in for them to be old? And most of them said 2000 to 2001. Freshman college people were born in like 2006, dude.
That doesn't exist. I refuse to believe anybody can be born past like 2002.
Dude, my little brother is about to enter high school, and I'm like, no.
Dude, my little cousins are in high school. I'm just like, fuck no. What, I got their driver's license this year?
Yeah, no. I got a little cousin who is graduating next month, and then in the summer he's going to college at UT Knox. And dude, I'm like, no, you're still the same short-ass, scrawny little shithead running around.
I've got one cousin going to Kentucky for college, the other at high school, or both of them, I guess, high school. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
The youngest one got his driver's permit, learner's permit or something.
Maybe we are old. Look at the topic we're on. Maybe we are.
Yeah. I refuse to believe it.
Goddamn, can you believe all these kids growing up? I was in elementary school back in 2006.
I'm still young at heart.
I'll go out there and throw the ball. Put me at quarterback.
Put me in coach. I can still play.
No, it's rough. It's rough to think about. It's really gonna mess me up. I had a sister that was born in like 2018, 2019. Yeah, definitely before COVID. So like 2019. Mm-hmm. When she enters high school, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, nah. And then my dad's gonna look at me and be like, "Hey, look at me, dog." He always had that shit thrown back at him. When I graduated high school, he said, "How's it feel to graduate high school?" I said, "How's it feel to have a kid who's graduated high school?" And he was like, "Fuck off."
That's wild.
Yeah,
no, dude, I never would have thought about that.
Dude, we all do it. When I proposed to my lady, and he was driving my two brothers home. He said, "So, what y'all think about Jack getting married?" And my little brother, dude, without skipping a beat, "I don't know, Dad. How's it feel having a son who's getting married?"
That's wild.
Yeah, dude. But hey, it starts at the top. All right, we do this because we got told a story of my grandfather asking him how it felt to be 40, and dude, the line of thought. He said, "I don't know, Dad. How's it feel to have a son who's 40 years old?" And my grandfather died that day.
Oh. Now, I think I kind of want to do that now. So whoever asked me some shit like that. I don't think my mom's ever asked me like how it's felt to, do this or that. So I guess I got to find somebody else to throw it back to.
I feel like that's a white thing to do. Hey, but how's it feel, huh? Let me get your thoughts on this. Press conference.
See, now it sounds like a white thing.
I hate that when I put on the dorky, like, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?" You think... I guess I am mocking white people. I'm literally doing that.
You ever seen the movie Sorry to Bother You? If not, you should watch it. Sorry to Bother You.
Sorry?
Yeah, that's the movie.
Who stars in that movie?
Don't ask me that. Have you seen Atlanta? The show.
One or two episodes.
I'm assuming two. Okay. Let's see. It's was Lakeith Stanfield.
Okay. Lakeith.
Yeah, Lakeith. And it's a movie where they talk in white voice a lot of the time, and that's like a whole plot point.
Like Dave Chappelle white voice?
No, like white dude voiceover white voice.
Interesting.
You'd have to watch it. It's a very movie. That's the best I got.
I don't know about that.
It's not bad. It's just weird.
No, the show's on my radar right now. I'm still watching the X-Men cartoon, and then tonight, me and my lady are gonna watch season 2 of The Last of Us just dropped. So we're gonna watch the first episode of that. You know they got a bundle now with Hulu, Max, and Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to purchase.
$17. That's a deal. That's like 3 of the big 5. You know what I mean?
And I've already got Netflix and Hulu, so that's the other 2.
And plus with Max, you get like AEW wrestling, you get basketball, you get some hockey, you get a lot of sports with Max, dude.
Yeah, and you get a lot of sports with Max and Prime. At least NFL season, especially for Prime. I don't really use it to watch anything else.
And next year, basketball is going to be going on Prime too.
Oh.
I wish that these sports would just pick one streaming service. And it's stupid that not only do NBA has NBA League Pass, controversial, doesn't work. It doesn't work correctly all the time.
Oh, okay.
NFL has NFL Plus. They had it for free, but they were like, we can make, us who make billions of dollars, the most profitable sports corporation in this country, one of the most profitable businesses in this country, we need even more money. So let's make a worse version of the free thing we were providing for people. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Controversial.
NHL has their own, like all these leagues have their own thing where you can subscribe and, watch whatever, but then they go, you know what? You got to have that, plus you got to have Amazon Prime. NFL's on Paramount Plus as well. Plus you got to have Max. If you want to watch all the game, and it's part of the reason some of my love for watching sports is dying. I'm not paying all these fucking subscriptions to watch a game.
Yeah.
Were the Titans playing? Is it on Paramount Plus? I have Paramount Plus. So I'll watch it on there, cool. But I'm not doing this.
Yeah, we had Max, and then we had screen sharing to our TV in the living room for very legal websites whenever it came to sports days, because it was either Max Prime or that, because that's all we really had on the TV. And I think one roommate bought ESPN Plus or something, and still couldn't watch a game on it, so we were just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, with ESPN Plus, you can watch UFC live events, but there are still live events where they're like, yeah, it's blocked off.
Yeah, that.
We were trying to watch the conference championship game a year or two ago, and my grandfather couldn't find it on TV, so I decided to plug my laptop into the Roku or into the TV. It's a smart TV.
Yeah.
And I say that because I took the HDMI from the Roku and put it in my laptop.
Yeah.
And I used a very legal website to watch it. But that was funny because I was getting back there, set my laptop up, and I grabbed his Roku and unplugged the HDMI, and he was like, hey, be careful. I was like, I know what I'm doing. If you were doing this, you would break it. I know what I'm doing.
It'd be funny if you said that and then broke it.
I know what I'm doing. My lady worked at one of the apartment buildings, and up on one of the floors there was a theater, and I would plug that's where I watched the Ravens beat the ever-loving shit out of the 49ers last year.
Sounds
just
about
plugged
right.
that bitch up and watched that. And it was a theater, dude. Not like a massive whatever, but it had the theater screen, the speakers. Yeah, killer naps in there.
Take me next time.
I wish she still worked at that building. But I say that, and if someone walked in, I'd be like, oh, y'all need this? They'd be like, no, it's okay. And then they would check like an hour later and I'd still be there and I'm like, I feel bad.
It's like, now I feel bad. Yeah. They waited for me.
It's an apartment building to have like an in-home theater thing. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Wouldn't expect
People would rent it out and have like parties in there and shit. Absolutely.
Nice. Sounds like the Sky Deck in Nashville.
The Sky Deck.
Yeah, it's just a venue used for different things, but it's just this balcony in the middle of the Broadway for some reason.
Is that what Morgan Wallen threw his chair off of?
I am not sure.
Do you recall that?
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, he was drunk and so angry that he was in like a Nashville hotel or something, and he grabbed one of the chairs at the side of the pool and just chucked it off.
I don't think that would have been at the Sky Deck then.
I'm keeping myself from laughing really hard because I'm just imagining him grabbing like a little person.
What about, dude?
And it's repeating in my head, dude, the scream I'm hearing. Just like grab me, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? No!
Wilhelm scream on top of it,
I
was going to reenact the Wilhelm scream, but nah.
You ever hear that in a movie and you're like, why is that here? Why is that in
several
this movie?
Movies actually.
It was in a Transformers movie. I was like, why did you put that?
It was in a few Marvel movies.
Yeah, like, why?
Yeah. I guess it's iconic. I don't know.
But no. UFC 314 just happened. And now my fandom of MMA is like my fandom with pro wrestling. I will dip my toe in every couple months, see what the water's feeling like, see who's on top, see who's doing what. And then I'll lose interest and back out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with UFC, because you have to buy each pay-per-view unless you want to buy like Fight Pass or ESPN Plus. I don't love it enough to buy that.
Sounds like a lot.
And plus, dude, some of the knockouts. Oh my God. I watched an hour of the greatest UFC knockouts posted by the UFC channel.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them legitimately terrify me. There was one.
Is it that bad?
Dude, there was one that happened to Bryce Mitchell. He was fighting. God, I can't remember. If people see this and are UFC fans, they're going to know, but I don't feel bad for this guy. He's the kind of guy that will give his heart out to a crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you get you. Heard that.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
He got decked just straight between the eyes. Hard. And he fell immediately. And, guy was getting up and celebrating, and then they switch over to him on the floor, and he's quite literally. And I was like, ooh. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Ooh.
And then they said, let's hear the sound of that again. And you just, no crowd noise, no nothing. It just zoned in on the punch to his head, and it sounded like you hit a metal bat on like the post of a fence. It was horrible. Again, kind of happy it happened to him, but watching it,
I think I need a link for that.
Dude, when you watch it, you're like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't go down this route.
See, I never thought fighting was for me, but I watch every now and again.
I thought about boxing a few times. I took Shaolin Kung Fu. I believe that's what it was described as. I forgot what belt I leveled up to, but I say leveled up. What a nerdy way to say that. I leveled up. I leveled up to a black belt.
I made it to black belt in karate. Way back when.
See, I watched Kicking It, and I was like, I want to learn karate.
I was ahead of the curve.
Go! Yeah! Well, take it with me. I can't remember the song.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember that one. Kicking It was a fun enough show, but I got tired of it really quickly.
We watched a lot. We watched like the Three Ninjas, Kicking It, Ninjago. I'm so shocked. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers. I'm so shocked me and my brothers didn't get more into martial arts. Because we'd watch that stuff all the time and then go on our trampoline and beat the shit out of each other, you know?
You got the street fight down. You just don't have the, I guess, technique for, I don't know.
Thank God, dude. Thank God we did not do more damage to each other. Oh my God. You know, I used to be so mad at my mom saying, like, y'all always break everything. But it was a house of 6 children, all boys, throwing each other around. You know?
Yeah. You got what you signed up for, you know?
Hey, but at least we didn't break each other. Mostly.
Except for that one time you took a baseball to the face.
Took a baseball to the face. We probably kicked each other off each other's bikes sometimes. Threw bats at each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, yeah. It was always like we'd go outside. We'd get a fun little game to play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it would always end in one of us screaming at the other.
I mean, I was an only child, so I don't really have much connection to that.
Dude, I saw this video and my lady was concerned at my reaction to it, okay?
Okay.
This dude was riding his bike and he was going pretty quick and he like launched over a street, went much higher than he thought he would, and as he was coming down, you just heard him go, "Oh." And it landed, he took the handlebars to the chest. He fell on the side and you heard him go,
got the wind knocked out of him.
And I watched that and you're like, ah, damn. But I was like, man, I kind of miss getting hurt.
You good, bro?
Dude, like,
I don't know anybody, I guess now besides you, who would have that reaction to watching that.
It's fucked up. Let's just look past that video, all right? Let's look deeper into this.
Okay.
I don't know. I remember, I'd play football in like the street and I'd trip and my forearm would slide up with loose gravel and I would get up and it's all bled and cut up and whatever. Shit would hurt.
Hurt like hell.
But it's like, if I did that today, I'd be down for a month. I'd be on that street. Like,
oh, the Bart Simpson, not Bart. What's the dad's name? Holy shit.
Homer.
And I was wrong anyway, because it was Peter Griffin that, hit his knee and did that.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, but no, dude, I'd run into trees and fuck up my leg. I played football and got the wind knocked out of me more times than I could count. Took baseballs to the face. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a guy. I miss getting physical. I miss getting hurt.
I mean, I did a lot as a kid, so I mean, my arms are all like scarred up, but like, I don't think I really miss it. More so,
you don't miss.
It was fun, and it was fun at the time. Still hurt, but I don't think I'd miss it.
You don't miss the feeling of riding a little too fast on your bike and hitting a tree or a pole and taking the thing to the chest and not being able to breathe for a couple seconds. You know what I mean?
Can't say I've done that, actually.
When you really felt alive. When you were riding downhill on a scooter and you didn't know the brakes stopped the front wheel, so you did a full front flip over the bars and got the wind knocked out of you, but still had to crawl into the neighbor's yard.
I forgot that. If somebody walks past you or drives past you slowly.
Yeah, no, dude. I remember telling that story and you being like, dude, I wish that was on the internet somewhere.
I wish there was a video that I could see that shit happening to you, because that's hilarious, dude.
For those of you, I'll tell the story really quickly if you didn't hear it. We had a bunch of bikes and scooters and stuff put up in my garage because my stepdad would just collect them. He would just throw them in the back of his van if he found them. We did get actual bicycles that were bought for us, but whatever. Always wanted a BMX bike, by the way, because I thought the pegs on them were so cool. Where you could just cruise and put your feet on the pegs, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I had the scooter that he found in the dump. And he was like, it seems to work fine. I found out why it was put in the dump. I was going downhill and I saw a car. And in my head, we were taught, you see a car, get out of the street. Immediately. Stop what you're doing. As soon as you see it, it doesn't have to be close. As soon as you see it, get out of the car. On a Razor scooter, the brake is a metal piece over the back wheel that slows you to a stop. On this scooter, I saw the handbrake and it connected to the front wheel. So when I pulled it, I just saw the blue bar passing over my head and I hit the asphalt so hard. Dude, that was 130 pounds, a 12-year-old hitting the asphalt. Wind gets knocked out of me and I slowly crawl.
The smack.
Yeah, and I slowly crawl my way to the neighbor's yard while this car was blowing past me. They just
saw you do this shit.
Yeah, they saw a fifth grader eat complete shit over. Just picturing that in my head of like if I'm driving up the street, that shit happens, I would have to pull over.
I would pull over, roll the window down, and laugh a little bit, see if they're all right, and then laugh a lot more.
Yo, are you good? Dude, especially like, yo, are you okay? And the kid just goes,
that would be terrifying, actually.
Oh my God, his ribs are busted.
Yeah.
His lung collapsed.
Dude, that's basically the way I found this dude that crashed on a motorcycle on the 4th of July last year. She was wild.
Dude, we got a call one time of like my uncle was in the hospital and this is unrelated, but I just thought of this because of motorcycle. And I was like, Uncle had a motorcycle. Oh, my uncle got fucked up one time.
All right.
But we went to the hospital and he had like bandages all over his face. His head was like in a cage and his jaw was completely shut. And I heard that he got into a fight with one of his friends. They're not friends anymore. His friend took a metal pole and hit him in the jaw. Shattered his jaw, dude.
Makes sense as to why they're not friends anymore.
See, I hear those stories and I'm like, if there's ever an issue out in public, it'll take a lot for me to get into a physical confrontation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my wife being catcalled and then, ass slapped or whatever. Then we got a problem.
That would make sense.
You know what I mean? But it's like, you don't know what people are going to do, dude. You don't know.
No, and, it's just going to take a lot for me to fight in public anyways, because, why?
Yeah.
I never
why
found a reason to start fights, I guess.
That's why I don't even vocalize my road rage. You don't know who people are. Like, I've seen so many videos of someone getting into a fucking spat on the interstate, and one of them just pulls out a gun and starts unloading into the car.
Yeah, I've seen a couple videos of that, yeah.
You don't know what people are going to do. So, PSA, if you think about getting into a physical fight because you got to defend what's yours, someone's disrespecting you, don't. You don't know what they have on them. You don't know who they are. You don't know if that little Asian dude has been training in fucking Muay Thai his entire life. Okay? You don't know.
Like that was one hell of a stereotype, but all right.
You've never heard that bit?
No.
This dude was talking about how you can tell different races, which one you can fuck up. He said, when it comes to Mexicans, you never want to run into a dude wearing like a Raiders jersey, you know, sagging his pants a little bit, limping. But he said, like, you can identify those people. But Asians, it could be a little short, stocky Asian dude wearing a little white button up, tucked into his blue jeans, glasses and shit. And you can be like, all right, let's get it. And he's like, I don't think you want to do this. And it's like,
I have seen that. Who said that?
It's a random ass comedian. It was
some stand-up comedian, yeah.
Yeah, that bit was so fucking funny.
That's fair. But also, damn, I wasn't ready for that, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't do well for the allegations. We're going to keep bringing it up. Me just throwing that out there, just like, why is he talking about Asians now? Not good. So let's bounce it out. Asians are underrated with how much they will feed your ass. You know what I mean? I had a buddy who had like Asian immigrant parents, and I went to a graduation party of his. Every time I stepped downstairs, food? You want to eat more? Huh? We already made you a plate. Here you go. And I was like, all right, bro, they're Italians with how much they'll feed your ass, dude. Italians get all the credit. Dude, and Asian food is fire. Home cooked Asian food. Oh my God.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Dude, and when you get those Asian places, those Chinese places where you buy like a $10 bowl and they pack it full like you just spent $30.
And then you continue to go to that place because they treat you well.
Hallelujah. Amen. That's what I say.
That's my spot now. Nobody else can know about that one.
Yeah, like the Greek place we talked about. I need y'all to know about it so we can stay open. I don't need y'all to know about it so it gets packed. All right.
Exactly. I just need enough for them to get their pockets lined so I can continue to get my stomach filled. Absolutely.
I do have this dream that I had. And the only reason I want to bring this up because I want. Have you ever had a really weird dream, but it felt stupid real?
Yeah, quite a few.
Let me know about one. If you can see,
I'm not going to remember them, no. But I remember waking up and being like, I was asleep? Okay.
Yeah, no, dude. Stuff has happened in my dream. Like, events have happened where I've woken up and I've been like, oh my God, my car turned into a dragon. It's not in the driveway. And my lady will be like, what? And then I'll be like, wait a minute.
You know what? I actually do think I have one moment because I was a fat ass and was ordering, I think, McDonald's in my sleep. And it felt so fucking real that I woke up and finished the order.
Bro, that would make me so sad if I was asleep and I had like a fire ass chicken chalupa, wake up and my fat ass is like,
I remember getting woken up and then finishing the order and they were like, what? I was like, what are you on about? And you were like, you just ordered something.
You just said a Big Mac with a large fry. Like, we're not. Do you know where you are?
You're in bed.
But no, I had this dream and I want you to keep in mind, okay? I wrote it down because it was fucking stupid.
Okay.
Because I woke up and I called my lady and I was like, it felt real until I started talking to her. Okay? I thought that everything in this dream just happened until I started to describe what just happened to me. And then I was like, wait.
Okay.
So, my mom was throwing a party. And the first people I saw there was Kevin Hart and Adam Sandler. All right? Okay. Adam Sandler was working the punch bowl for some reason. I guess I was thinking of Jesse before I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. And then, the party goes on and I'm going about it. And then two witches find me. And not even, they're trying to get at me, but they very clearly look like witches, like stereotypical snaggletooth, big ass mole, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we sit in my car and they start grabbing me, but I'm able, like, I'm in a trance, right? Like, I'm like, But I break free, run away, and I see on like a screen somewhere that like dudes are getting their faces peeled off and shit from these two witches, right?
Okay.
Again, make it clear, I thought this was 10,000% real until I started describing it to my wife. So, I go to bed, I wake up the next day, my car's gone. And in my head flashes an image of those two witches taking it apart piece by piece. So I'm like, fuck, my lady's at work. I gotta go get her from work, right? Because this was a nap I took before I had to go grab her from work.
Yeah.
So I asked my mom if she's got a car I can borrow. She says, yeah, I do. It's right there, and there's like some little kids in a BMW going up and down the street, right?
Yeah.
And then that flips over to her boyfriend putting tires on it. And then her house changes to an office space. And now I'm having to take a BMW labeled bar stool all the way to Nashville. And I was going to do it. I was walking out the door. And then I was like, wait, I can't walk a BMW bar stool to Nashville in 45 minutes. That's not going to happen, okay? So I go back and I'm like, I guess I have to call my grandparents again. They got to help me out again. And then they said, no, you can't because, you know, they've helped you enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then that office space morphs into a convertible that I'm now riding in with Kevin Owens and Rhea Ripley, two professional wrestlers.
Nice.
And they're hyping me up, taking me to work, not to go pick up my lady. They're taking me to work. And I call my grandparents, sends the voicemail because they were on vacation at the time of this dream and in the dream, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So I call my lady for her to get an Uber. And then I wake up and I'm like, call her. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, you got to get an Uber. She went, what? And I said, these two witches, wait.
That's fucking hilarious.
Dude, I thought that was 110%. I thought that happened to me. I thought that was lore.
I need to hear her side of this now. These two witches wait.
Yeah, just wait. And then I was like, okay, I think I just had a weird ass dream. And I basically told you, I was like, I thought this was 100% real until you just heard my realization.
You woke up and was like, oh shit, she's got to get an Uber. I'm going to have to walk to Nashville with this bar stool.
I'm going to have to walk to Nashville with this bar stool because Rhea Ripley and Kevin Owens are nowhere to be seen. You know,
and then hilarious.
I ran out, looked out the window, and my car's just in the driveway. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
We're good. It's not real.
Yeah, man.
That's fucking hilarious. I don't think I've ever had a dream that was that bad. I mean, besides me waking up and finishing my fucking order, but after that, it's always like, I mean, I've had weird dreams every now and again, but it's never been more than me waking up and being like, what the fuck was that dream?
Up until middle school, I had a crush every single year. Like, of course, there were girls I always thought was cute and, you know, were interested in.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like down home, like traditional crush. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
had one every year I was in elementary school. And every year I would have a dream about them. And I remember most of them. Yeah. I had a dream where I was running this spy agency and like the girl I had a crush on was the top agent there. Which is, that's a funny look at, like, you know, a 5-6-year-old. Yeah, I was really into Spy Kids too.
Yeah.
One of them turned to stone, and I kissed them like it was fucking Sleeping Beauty. And later in the dream, they became de-stonified and slapped me for kissing them.
Dr. Stone, okay.
But from then on, it was like normal shit. Like, I would have a dream about me going to school and they'd be hugging up on me, or us hanging out the house and they'd be hugging up on me. Those were the real, like, you could tell when my imagination was dwindling. You know what I mean?
That's how far your imagination went, and those, I guess that must have been healthy enough for elementary school boy.
I guess. I was always really good at remembering my dreams. I mean, I just told you a dream I had when I was...
Yeah.
From almost 20 years ago now.
Don't say that again.
Don't say that again.
Too fucking long ago.
Can you, I will test myself, can you remember your teachers' names from elementary school? Like,
nope.
All of them?
Mm-mm.
No. How many do you think you can name?
0.
I always got to remember that
I hate to admit it, but I really do not remember their names.
Well, hey, you just put it out of your memory, and that's good. I do a lot of fucking thinking in a warehouse.
I for a minute I had like the gym teacher's name, but the only thing I could remember about him was every time like he'd see 2 kids getting a little too friendly, be like, "Wait till you're 35," and that was his thing.
What?
Yeah, that's all I remember.
The only thing I remember about my elementary school gym teacher, she was a massive fan of Peyton Manning. Like, she loved Peyton Manning.
All right.
She was a Colts fan, and I remember my 5th grade years when Peyton Manning got traded to the Broncos, and she immediately got on the morning announcements with "It's Manning time" on a Denver Broncos t-shirt. I think she was just a Tennessee fan, and Peyton Manning was, you know, quarterback of the Vols.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I guess. Sure.
I remember seeing Mike Munchak, head coach, like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be us."
I think the closer I get to more recent schooling time is when I'm going to remember more teachers' names, but I think that just starts at like high school.
I've tested myself with like, can I name every teacher I had in high school?
I mean, in high school, I had the same teacher for like 4 years most of the time. So
really,
yeah, band, graphic design, they were all the same teachers all through 4 years.
Fair. I had like my coaches who I had for 3 years, and then I got the same English teacher twice for, I don't know how, but kinda, because that bitch was always getting pregnant. I don't know what was happening, dude.
English teachers just do that, man.
Dude, I had her my sophomore year and my senior year. Both years, she had to take months off because she was pregnant.
English
you
teachers.
Be fucking?
They be fucking.
You tell me the English teacher's the one that be fucking?
They be fucking.
No, one of the funniest things that my teacher had, he was a history teacher, but he was also a baseball coach with another history teacher. And he was like, "Y'all want to see some shit that happened this weekend?" Of course, he didn't say shit, but we were like, "What?" He pulled up security camera footage of the other baseball teacher running in the hallway and tripping and just face planting. And he was laughing so hard. He would rewind it, put it in slow-mo.
That's fantastic. Hell yeah.
That's so good.
I think I could actually extend my teacher remembrance to middle school for one teacher who I also had in high school. So it didn't really matter. Or 2, both of which I also had in high school.
Dude, one of the baseball coaches pulled up with I try to make the basketball player reference, but I can't pinpoint his name, which is pissing me off because it's in my head. Pistons player. But they had the clear mask, that clear protective mask that you sometimes see. And we were like, what happened? He was third base.
Oh my gosh!
If you know, like
Kareem
Cody
wore?
Rhodes, huh?
Like what Kareem, like the goggles.
It was much bigger than that. I'm gonna look it up, but like, he had this on, and we were like, "What happened?" He was a third base coach. Protective mask. He was a third base coach. Bro, just give me the fucking thing.
Pistons player with mask. Let's see.
Like
Hamilton.
that.
Richard Hamilton.
Yeah. Rip Hamilton. Like a mask like that.
Okay.
But he was wearing this, and we were like, what happened? Dude took a line drive to the eye socket. Yeah.
Ow.
Now, he was a dickhead, so a lot of people were like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
I see it says after he broke his nose several times.
Rip Wallace?
Hamilton.
Rip Wallace. Why did I say Rip Wallace? I keep thinking of Rasheed Wallace for some reason. Rip Hamilton. Yeah. Played for the Pistons, right?
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm thinking of Ben Wallace as well. I have no fucking idea where my head's at.
I don't even know everybody's like that, so.
But yeah, no. Took a line drive to the face. Does not sound fun.
Not at all.
Does not sound fun. He fell to the ground and play was stopped because people were like, "Oh shit!" Walked over and saw the dirt was being caked in blood, and they were like, "Oh!" Rolled his ass over and said, "Let me see it." Don't let me see it. Don't let me see.
If somebody did that shit to me, I'm punching them.
What if they were like,
if I got fucked up, like if I say I took a line drive to the eye socket and I said, let me see how bad it is. Oh, don't let me see. I'm punching you. I don't care how hurt I am.
Yeah, bro, you just be like, all right, it's not bad, right? No, it's not bad. Just let me see it. Like your eye is slowly out of the fucking whole shit is shattered, and they're like, oh shit. You're like, oh, bro.
It's like,
bro, you gotta help me, dog.
Help me.
No, I do have a sports. I do have a finish it. I do have a little sports topic that I have a little rant about.
All right.
Nico.
I knew it.
Maliava.
I knew it. I was gonna play guessing game first.
We should have done it. You would have won 200 points.
Yeah.
Well, let me get your opinion on it. You want me to explain the situation first?
I've been keeping up with it a little bit. He wants $4 million a year, but they aren't giving it to him. They're letting him go when he's walking out or something along those lines.
Yeah. So Nico Maliava was a redshirt freshman this year, I want to say, and he walked in. And he was already getting paid $2 million in NIL money. And he skipped practice, didn't show up to team meetings because he wanted more money. And Tennessee told him to kick rocks. Because, I'm not in that building, don't know the full reason, but because he had already threatened, allegedly, he had already threatened to not play against Ohio State. That he was going to enter the transfer portal whenever the transfer portal opened. If you remember, they played Ohio State and got their shit kicked in. Mm-hmm. And here's my rant about this.
Okay.
Nico and his team are fucking idiots. Okay? They are morons. Nico was coming off of a season where he was mediocre. 5-star recruit, has the tools to be a good quarterback, didn't play great. He played okay, but as soon as he got on the road, he played like shit against Arkansas. He played like shit against Ohio State. And like everybody would be like, oh, he's the, greatest quarterback of all time after they pounced Kent State. 63-0 or some shit. I think it was 60-0 at halftime, dude. All right. I'm not saying Nico can't be a great quarterback, but he had a mediocre season. He threatened to walk out. So not only did you have a mediocre season, now you put doubt in the program's mind that you're even going to stick around, and then you ask for $4 million?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I saw something like comments that was calling him like the 32nd best player on the field for one game, for one of these games.
It's very possible, especially when they played Ohio State, because Ohio State is loaded with talent. But Tennessee, as critical I am is about the Tennessee the Tennessee program you have criticism about. I have criticisms of the head coach. I have criticisms about the program. But in this instance, they did nothing wrong. They did absolutely nothing wrong. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, the other rant I have is the people saying, this is NIL. This is what happens when you pay players. This is ruining college football. No, you fucking loser. What ruined college football was greed, elitism, and old brainwashed fucks like you clinging on to outdated beliefs and mindsets in the fucking service of tradition. Okay? That's what killed college football. I'm saying this with my full chest. I would rather have this NIL system. It needs work. It is an overcorrection of an issue that was prevalent for such a long time. But I would rather have this than the NCAA and all these colleges making millions and millions and millions of dollars off of these players and chucking them to the fucking, behind a register if they get hurt and can't play anymore. But I would rather have this than them taking advantage of these fucking players. They get a scholarship. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That doesn't mean dick in this world anymore, and you know it. Anyways, sorry.
Now, I do have to agree that I do find it surprising that they were getting so much money. I mean, I knew players were getting paid. I didn't know about $2 million though. That sounds like a lot.
In most of the big colleges, they are. If you go to like Liberty, there's maybe one guy making close to $1 million. But like at Tennessee, I think all three quarterbacks are making close to, if not above, $1 million.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot of money, but also like, I didn't see what his speech was supposed to mean because he just kind of either shit talked or was like, but I'm like good. And I said I would leave if I didn't get $4 million. So here I am. I'm just like, okay.
Do you? But to say that this is an example of like the NIL system, no, this is an example of a fucking idiot thinking he's worth more than he actually is. Nico is going to go somewhere and he's going to start somewhere and he could turn out to be a good quarterback. But right now he's not worth $4 million. He's just not.
Yeah.
But Mama said I'm priceless. Shut up. All right, bro. You didn't gotta say that.
Yeah, I do like that though.
But no, that has pissed me off. I've been meaning to make a TikTok about it, but I legitimately keep forgetting about it. And then I was like, fuck it. I'll save it for the podcast, dude. Because I hate college football fans are some of the worst fucking fans. Just because they cling to, sport was so great 20 years ago, then stop watching the fucking thing. Then stop watching it if that's all you're going to fucking talk about. Oh my God. Same with like wrestling fans. Oh, it's never as good as it was in the Attitude. Stop watching. Nobody wants you. I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. If I hear him come out of your mouth one more time, I'm going to bitch slap you, dude.
I heard Stone Cold Steve Austin so much throughout my childhood. And I don't even think he was active for most of mine. Was he? He was. I wasn't even.
What would you consider? He retired I think he walked out of WWE in like 2003. 2004, maybe.
Okay, I was born.
WrestleMania 19. So yeah, 2003, 2004.
Yeah, no, I heard his name a couple years after that.
Dude, he's still like top 5. He's still top 5 in merch sales from the WWE. Like, still. That's nice. Like if Joe Montana's jersey was still top 5 sales in the NFL. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But, the worst, and this will be the last thing I say. Last thing we talk about, all right?
Heard.
The worst sports fans are fighting fans that try to watch UFC. Holy shit. If I have to watch a boxing fan watch MMA and bitch about it again, I'm going to lose my mind. Khabib versus Conor McGregor, right? That was like the biggest MMA fight of all time at the time, which warranted. I mean, Conor took out a bus full of fighters by throwing a dolly at it. All right.
All right.
It's a whole thing. But in that fight, Khabib took McGregor to the ground and just beat the shit out of him for a couple rounds. Because he knew Conor was a better striker, wasn't going to be able to handle him on his feet. Khabib was not a slouch on his feet, but he knew as soon as he got Conor on the floor, it was over. It was over. Conor was not close to his level on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that fight, I saw so many people going to Twitter and going on social media and saying, such a boring fight. All they did was go on just watch boxing. Why are you watching MMA? Half the fucking sport is grappling, you fucking dumbass. Don't watch it.
It's literally mixed martial arts. What else do you want?
It's every fighting style, and these two guys are clashing. And like, oh, I just want to watch. Go watch kickboxing. I don't. Oh my god, dude. Why?
If people watch it just to argue or to complain about it, you know?
I guess so. I don't. Whatever. That was the episode. Hope you all enjoyed. My mind went completely blank on the outro of these, but it's coming back right now. Make sure you like, rate, and share, especially rating, especially share it. Share it to whatever platform you want to do. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want to do. Whether that's clicking the crooked arrow and doing what I just told you to do. Again, the outro. Why am I brain farting on the outro?
I don't know.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth is very stupidly, strictly important. If someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, I want to hear a bunch of guys just complain about sports fans. I want to hear a bunch of guys' ideas on man caves. I just want to have a chill time with some chill homies. Z, what do they do?
Well, you tell them to head on over to the homies Jackie and Z over at Red Light Homies. Where they talk about all of this stuff and have some big dreams for their houses that they will definitely buy in this economy.
Definitely. This was the homies Jackie and Z.
That's me.
And we'll see y'all next Monday.
Peace out.